quantum realm.
Yeah, didn't it feel like Ant-Man meets Inner Space? I love it.
I don't want to die. We didn't die. Hey, what'd I miss? We were just tiny.
It takes two to make a thing go right.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. I had a lot of fun with it. I actually, to be honest, I do like this movie a little bit more than the first.
I put it right up there equally with the first. I enjoyed the first. I really enjoyed everything that the first one had to offer us, and I'm glad this one didn't beat us over the head with references and just, you know, the same story beats and jokes from the first one. Of course, there's homages, but they don't, basically it's not Home Alone 2 meets Home Alone 1 where it's the same damn movie, just differently retreaded. But this one was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of things in this movie that I liked, and then I'm gonna go into a lot of things that I didn't like.
Sure.
The villain, and it's kind of like a Marvel stick to, like, their villains, they just don't pan them out as well, but it doesn't bother me that this villain is kind of meh, because there's technically two, but then there's one. It's confusing at times, and you're just like,
right.
okay.
Because you've seen in the trailers Walton Goggins, who's pretty much a villain in everything he is in at the moment, so he is coming across as just kind of a cookie cutter villain at this moment, but we still love Walton Goggins. The man is talented as hell, but right. He isn't one that you would write home to mama about, you know? But for me, personally, Ghost, I really liked Ghost in this movie. I enjoyed what they did with this, at least this character in this film, because it was different to me from the other Marvel movies where it's like, oh, here's your cookie cutter villain, and then nope, no, it's gone, and we're gonna move on to the next one in the sequel.
See, for me, for this story, like, even though they kind of were so par, the villains in this movie was really technically the relationship between Hope and Scott.
Yeah.
And Hank as well. So
of course,
that relationship was more so trying to develop in this movie so that it had more impact for other movies as well. And I really, really liked what they did with their relationship in this one.
And I love the music in this movie from the man that brought you Hangover, Edge of Tomorrow, and Frozen, Christoph Beck. He's back from the first one to do this one as well, and I love the music in this. I thought it was fun. You had that same theme that was in the first one, but he built up on it. I enjoyed the theme that he used for Ghost 2. You kind of had like a chorus behind it. So for me, it was something that I would probably want to recreationally listen to from this one, which I didn't do very much from the first Ant-Man movie. So that's a win for this film too.
I also like the fact that this movie can stand on its own and doesn't have to technically relate to any of the other movies. And that was kind of like one of the issues when you built up this like big universe of all of these superhero movies and superheroes, and you're like, well, why is this big thing happening here? Shouldn't they all come together?
Of course.
Whereas this one felt like, yeah, it had like big grand scale stuff in this one,
right?
But it felt like together for just this movie.
Much like the characters in this movie, big and small. It had that great scale, but at the same time, it was very focused and minute. Simple at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you see, I mean, all of us have been chomping at the bit for a little bit more from Infinity War, so this is our first look into what happened after, and I think that they did a good job with it. I just finished Luke Cage Season 2, where it's like, well, we're not even going to touch on that because, you know, it's taking place production-wise at a different time, and we just couldn't really connect it. They don't leave you hanging with this one, so I'm glad that we are, you know, back in this world. Man, they have just killed it. For me, personally, it has been Ragnarok, and then, of course, Black Panther, and then Infinity War, and then this one.
And now I gotta wait until Captain Marvel.
Of course, and I'm okay with waiting because they set us off on a good note. In my book, I was entertained, I had a good time. And we also got a little Pierce Hawthorne reference, my opinion, a Pierce Hawthorne moment of Community in this movie from one of the characters. But if you're a fan of Community, you'll see it. But either way, what would you give this movie?
I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. See, for me, I really liked it. Like, I probably liked it a bit more than the first one, so I'd probably give it a 4.5 out of 5. Other than that, there were some things for me that got a little draggy at points, but like, I was entertained after we got through it for a bit, so I can't penalize them very heavily for that.
Yes, there are 2 end credit scenes, and One of them is kind of like
a throwaway.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt to me like in Thor 2, where at the end it was just like that monster jumping, fighting birds or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was very much a throwaway.
It's basically like that, yeah.
So yeah, you have 2 end credits. The mid one is more important. The final one is just for fun.
Yeah.
But yes, I enjoyed this movie. I would definitely recommend it, obviously, if you are into finding out what is going on in this series of the MCU. But thank you guys for watching our non-spoiler review. You can also like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, start.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kicking the party, feel the party, keep the party going at our Patreon. Gets us where we need to go. Thank you guys so much. And as always,
now it's time to say goodbye.
this party's over.
Bye.